Jason, yay!
Round of applause, round of applause.
We are so excited to have you here.
Listen, I'm so excited to be here.
You wouldn't expect what I did.
Tell me what you did.
I went bold for you.
For me?
For you.
Nobody has ever.
Today.
Nobody's ever. People have shaved things for me in their life. And if you'd seen us growing up, there's no way you would have imagined that this comes from there. And the best part about that is I always tell people, like, if you come from a place that is soft, your whole life is going to be hard. If you come from a place that is hard, if hard is your normal, your whole life is going to be soft. There are things that will make people cry, then you go out. But
I wanted to ask, did you want to become a comedian, or did that opportunity just come up and then you, oh, let me do this?
That's a great question. So I was always attracted to comedy, but sincerely I didn't believe that it was possible for me. And I always credit Trevor with, I think the greatest thing Trevor did for me and every comedian on African soil is just help us understand what's possible. My man, you look like you have never had a solid poop in your life. My friend, you look like your mother only has no-name brand food in the house. You are a streetwise 2, I am a parfait. I'm not sure how this ends up. I'm not sure how this ends up. I've never seen a hoodie look cold on somebody. Your hoodie looks like it needs a hoodie.
I know you want to definitely have stuff to say, but I want to say thank you for talking about, the whole storytelling and because we've done this, right? We've gone beginning, middle, end, like it's a whole, you plot everything. Nothing is just a bus. And the same with a song, it's the same with an acting monologue, with a dance, there's a beginning, middle, end, right?
That's it.
Everything is. So does it make you more observant, more self-aware and aware of others to get material? Do you know what I mean?
I think it makes you hyper observant, especially if you came up in a almost a vacuum where Nicholas, Donovan, myself, 3 comedians, we spend a lot of time together, and when we're not just the 3 of us, we're with other comedians. And what happens is you start becoming punchline hunters. So people are always like, "Us, you're so quick, your brain works so quick." And then I go, it's the same as saying to an athlete, "Oh, your legs are so strong." And then he goes, "Yeah, because I train my legs every single day." You know what I mean? So your brain is like a muscle. If you exercise a very specific thing, and our thing is always looking for punchlines. So once you understand the type of and the style of comedy that you're going to be doing, you'll become hypersensitive or sensitized rather to all of the things that could work that are happening around you. So for example, I can walk into a room of people and just by looking at them already start coming up with the jokes and the things that are going to possibly make people laugh. You know what I mean? Then you, as your experience come, you're able to package those things and then start, like I always say, what I marvel at with Trevor Noah, for example, is Trevor understands the science of comedy as a natural language within him. So you can tell Trevor a story now, backstage. Trevor can go on stage and tell your story as if he's already done the highlighters, the writing, because his brain understands the science of comedy, and putting that science of comedy into a language is what's a terribly exciting thing. Then you just become a wordsmith. So words become your arsenal. Your stories have a beginning, middle, and end. Then you just go, what's the funniest word? What's the best word? So I had a mentor that taught me to sell once, and I use my sales training in my comedy all the time. And he said, I want you to think about your vocabulary as a big garage, because I like cars. So he said, let's think about something that you can relate to. So I like cars. He said, think about your vocabulary as a huge garage. And he said, if you had a huge garage with all your dream cars, would you drive a City Golf every day? I said, I'm more colored than you think. I'm lying. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. I said, but no, if I had an opportunity to drive City Golf or Lamborghini, Ferrari, Maserati, I would definitely be driving those supercars every day. So he said, some words are City Golfs, some words are Lamborghinis. Use your Lamborghini words. Your Lamborghini words will change depending on who your target audience is. So always be using the best words, and that from an entertainment point of view, because words are beautiful. What I love is not only can we tell you a story, but I can vividly create an image in your mind. I can access your imagination and take you on a journey. I can slow down the way I speak. And if I slow down the way I speak, it immediately makes you listen more because your brain thinks that I may be saying something more important, or I can just speed up. And when I speed up, the energy becomes palpable and you can feel that it becomes almost contagious. And now I'm controlling your emotions and you didn't even realize I'm controlling your emotions. I mean, I took you from low and now all of a sudden you're feeling better. So it's
this is a masterclass, sorry.
It's this amazing magic trick that experience allows you to fulfill. And eventually you do these things like you be driving. So when you learn to drive, you're thinking about clutch, brake, accelerator, steering, gears, gearbox, rev matching. But then eventually you just jump in a car and drive. You don't even think about it. You get to your destination and not remember indicating. I mean, BMW drivers. But I mean, you get to your destination. You get to your destination and not remember the process. But the best part about it all, for me, is if it's something that feeds you, comedy is not like any of the other deep passion stuff. So I compare the way we love comedy to the way professional footballers love football, professional rugby players love rugby. The difference is with comedy, your knees just keep getting stronger. The more you train, your body just keeps getting stronger. It's not like rugby, football, where, hey, by 30, people are really starting to say you're old, you're creaking now, you're heading towards, if you're still playing when you're 40, now people are giving out SASA cards at the door. You know what I mean? So with stand-up, imagine having the same passion, but imagine it taking you much longer to get good. And all that does to my brain is it goes, and I'm a food guy, so food and cars is my scenario. But because I'm a big guy and because I like eating, when I have a plate of my favorite food, I take a second to remind myself it's my favorite, which makes me eat slower. Just savor every bite. Because sometimes when you're too hungry, half your chow is klar. You didn't even think about tasting and savoring and enjoying a thing. And I'm one of those guys that likes, my wife will tell you, I eat like this. You know what I mean? I want to feel it. I want to be emotionally involved in it. And I want it to last as long as possible. From child. Guys, I was fed from birth. Like, isn't it? From childhood, on a Sunday, I would tell my mother, I don't want a normal size spoon for my ice cream. I want a teaspoon. So I can have smaller bites and savor it even longer and enjoy it. So with stand-up and this long lead time to get experience and to get good and then to eventually have it, what makes me excited is the sweet ice cream that I refer to as stand-up comedy is being savored at a pace that means it's going to last extraordinarily long. In fact, probably as long as I want it to. And that's the best part about stand-up is I find people funny in their 70s. I find people funny in their late teens already. Different perspectives, different types of storytelling, different experiences, but both of those people are relevant at the same time. Show me another sport where both of those people can follow each other on a lineup and it makes sense. You know what I mean? Mm. So, yeah, I love it. If you want the person who loves comedy, you come to the right address.
Okay. If you met...
You've been waiting forever.
It's fine, you can go ahead. If you met basically 17-year-old Jason.
Yes, basically 17-year-old Jason. Love that. Callback. That's what we call a callback. That's a callback. So now we're deep in, we forgot about it, we just went to fetch it to say this is a laugh, because laughter is currency. There's a laugh that I don't think we've finished. There's still 50 cents left on this laugh. Let us enjoy this thing again. So basically 17-year-old Jason.
What would you say to him?
So if I met, that's a very specific age. 16, 17-year-old Jason, let me just paint a picture for you of who that guy was. 16, 17-year-old Jason had just discovered that he's pretty big for a colored guy. And how he discovered that was an Afrikaans man came and asked him if he wants to play rugby. And then I realized that there's this game that I can hurt people, and nobody's phoning my mother afterwards. You know what I mean? Because that's all I saw rugby as. This, what do you mean? I can go full throttle, proper hit snot out, and nobody's mother's being phoned for me. Because I come from that, I'm gonna phone my mommy. You know what I mean? So I just learned that. I'd also. My best friend at the time was 3 years older than me, and he was a championship bodybuilder, and I was a very chubby guy, and our parents were best friends, and he encouraged me to become his gym partner. So I just started training, and I was strong and arrogant, and I believed that I was bulletproof, that nobody could touch me, because I'd also just become, by my own crown, the king of the dis, the Guara for a Guara champion. Nobody could come at me because I didn't even know I'd use this thing for comedy later. But because I'd been teased as a fat kid all the time, one day I just realized, oh my goodness, I can make jokes even better than these people that are making jokes about me. So now I'm in, what you going to tease me about? After teasing me about being fat, what? You're going to tease me about being the third sexiest fat man in the country?
Your nickname should be Jomo.
It should be?
Jomo.
Jomo. I'll take it. I'll receive it and I will make it look good. Why? Because Joe is not enough. You need Joe Mo, baby. You need Joe Mo. We can make jokes about anything. So if I were to talk to that guy right now, I would say nothing. if I had to talk to that guy right now, I feel like that guy would be too arrogant to listen to me. He'd want to tell me. He'd probably ask me about, but look at yourself. You're not even looking to yourself, old man. You got gray in the beard. So the truth is, I'd hide behind a rock and watch him make every mistake he's about to make for the next 14 years, because I sincerely believe the foundation of his success comes not from his talent, but from his tolerance for failure, from his intimacy with pain, his understanding that pleasure is always on the other side of pain. First, you've got to experience. First, you've got to cut your teeth. First, you've got to learn. First, it's got to be hard. I was one of those people that didn't want to learn anything. My mother kept trying to tell me, experience is the gift. I was like, but I'm cleverer than all of these people. I know more. I'm supposed to have it now. I'm you know what I mean? And it was that I don't think he would listen. So even if I said to him, Jason, your dreams are valid. Jason, don't worry. You're going to go through what you would think no human being should be able to go through. And on the other side of that is a life that you can't even imagine now. A life where I wake up every single day, and you know what my biggest stress is? And I say it to my wife all the time, baby, I should have dreamt bigger, because all my dreams have come true already.
And I was been big as you.
My dreams should have been as big as me.
Everyone's trying.
My dreams should everybody's also, and take your sucker punches. I'm just saying, tomorrow when they call you, chocolate lollipop, chocolate lollipop. Tomorrow when they're calling you, plus it's also a lollipop that's half chowed, a small pup. No wonder you had an afro. You were trying to disguise. Your brain is in a wallet instead of a handbag.
Nobody would target me.
No. Carry on with your chaps.
Okay, I'm sorry for that.
But no. So then you learn. So I love it. So I love it. For me, roasting is something that the rules of roasting is, you've always got to roast from a position of love. You know what I mean? If you're roasting from a position of love, you can get away with saying a lot of things, and you're always caring for the person that you're roasting for. But the most important part about roasting that I don't think is being spoken about is it's just words, brah. As human beings, do you know how many people I met later on in life after school that told me how my words hurt them? And I wish that this part was funny. But I've had to apologize to so many people I was at school with because I had this skill set, but I didn't realize how powerful words are. So words are powerful. You want to see how powerful words are? You look at the legacy of an actor like Will Smith, who we all know and love. Will Smith allows his legacy to be impacted by somebody else's words. Not somebody pulling a gun on his wife. Not somebody breaking into his house in the middle of the night. Somebody at the most public event on earth using words makes him react. So then I realized that if I'm going to react to your words, all I'm doing is giving you my power, allowing you to manipulate and control me. So, and I learned this, and I always tell the joke on stage where somebody looked at me and said, "Yeah, my bro, you so fat. When you jump on a scale in the bathroom, that scale must land like a old 325 IQ session." Come in a whoa. Now, I laughed. Of course, I couldn't help myself. I laughed because it's such a visual joke. I laugh at that joke till today. Every time I jump on a scale, I laugh because you guys can buy your cheap scales called Discam and Clicks. Those scales read 120. I just told you I weigh 128 on a good day. So when I jump on a normal scale, the scale has to take a deep breath. You know what I mean? Before it gives me information. So then what I learned is it's easy to say don't give people's words power, but words are powerful. The only way to defeat the power of words is you've got to back yourself, believe in yourself, love yourself, trust yourself more than anybody's words. But we come from castes and environments where we want the approval of other people. We want other people to tell us, "Hey, no, this cheese coop looks great, man." Yeah. No, don't worry, pa. It's not as bad as you think. That's what you want people to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what they said to me.
So then for me, exactly. I from far, you look sharp. You know what I mean? No, with my eyes closed, you look amazing. You know what I mean? And people will say all of these things. But the major thing for me is I've got to believe in myself completely before I leave home so that when I hear the words, I don't take your words. And then what I will do is when you try and take my power, I will remind you and show you what power actually is. Not in a brute way. You're going to come at me with words. My favorite thing. You're going to learn with words. And if you beat me with words, it's hilarious because then I'm finding the humor in what you're saying. And then I'm going after the joke. And if I can't beat you in words, then catch me outside because I'm still from Eldorado. You know what I mean? But don't give those words power. You must use the power of words to bolster yourself against the power of other people's words.
So, as I am, I'm an actor, right?
Yes.
So while acting, I like to put in a little bit of puns, to throw people off. And those two, they kind of like make me feel like I'm doing stand-up somehow.
Are we?
So I want to know, like, how can I combine them and place them into one thing and make it like, I don't know, but succeed with it?
But it's the easiest thing I've ever been asked. It's also the easiest time in my life is today. So if you are a person that understands, so if you are putting puns in your acting, that means you're also doing the writing. Because generally a writer will supply an actor with the puns, the jokes, the humor. But if you're putting puns in your acting, then you're using a writing ability to influence your acting. So then for me, if I was your age today, and I understand that I've already got the skill set just in my friend circle, in my little communities that I'm in, people always are drawn to this about me. You've got a phone in your pocket. At the moment, if you've got a phone with a camera, you can make everything. TikTok is where I would be living. Excuse me. And every single day, I would be putting out 60-minute versions of me acting using my puns. The best part is, you must remember when we came up, we were fighting for space from proper gatekeepers, in the sense that if somebody at a network didn't like you, you're not getting in. At the moment, it's not about networks. You have a network with your account, and whether you have 100 people following you or 10,000 people following you, doesn't matter. That's your platform. That's your channel. So you can now attract attention to yourself, to your skill set, showcase your skill set without needing other people's permissions. For us, somebody at DSTV had to like you. Somebody at the SABC had to approve your audition tape. Somebody in an ad campaign had to first go through rigorous processes, hurt your self-esteem, and most of the people who were trying to make it in that generation were unheard of. Today, you can take control. So if you're going acting, mixed with a little bit of puns to make people laugh, there's a series waiting for you on TikTok, and you just keep going and going and going. And if you really love it, you'll go. I always tell people, the first time I met Lasizwe, and this was years ago, probably 6-7 years ago now already, he was just becoming huge. That Doom video, Doom had been his first video to pop. I don't know if you guys remember that. And when we met, we were doing a shoot for Netflix at the time, and everybody was, Lasizwe, asking him a whole lot of things, advice, My first question crossed my heart, and you can ask him this, was, what number was the Doom video? He said, what do you mean? I said, your video went viral off of YouTube, but I've got no context as to how many videos you'd made before that. Because it's so easy to assume that your Doom video is your first video, and it's so easy to be on the internet. Then he looked at me and he said, okay, nobody's ever asked me that. So I said, so what number was it? And he said, it was probably 165 to 170. I said, say that again. He said, I posted 165 videos on my YouTube and nothing happened until number 166 was Doom, and all of a sudden everything happened. Then for me, that's the story we should be talking about. We should be talking about the fact that if you really want something, don't start if you're not willing to do 160 videos. So if you're not willing to do 160 videos with zero income, zero recognition, then you don't have what it takes to run the long race. You don't like the thing enough. But if you're willing to do 200 videos because you receive the satisfaction and gratification from that and nothing's going to happen, then you've got a chance at making it. But nobody's discussing how long it takes, how difficult it is. We're in an era of people want to do something today, have their results tomorrow, and that quick and easy, you've seen people get famous overnight, but they get unfamous just as quickly. So for me, I don't want to do another job. You ask me what my goals are. My goals are to make sure that I'm doing my favorite thing every single day to pay for my lifestyle until the day I die. So that's it.
Did you run 160 laps to lose your weight?
I have not tried to lose weight. But I like that you are still on it. I mean, you're wearing socks and sloths. Which is, I don't know if anybody's told you, but it's Kora to Nyaupe boy. Like you are, next stop is Nyaupe. Next stop, people just start helping you. They start phoning your house. Is the child alright? We saw flops and socks. We know next stop it's Nyaupe, man. Check if his teeth are not loose. Are his teeth alright? You're never going to learn. You're going to keep coming for me.
So like there's a couple of things that you've said, and I just want to...
Yes, please.
I just want to like tie up for us is the wordsmith part of it, right?
Yes.
And so I think today people don't read enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that thing. It's like reading, devouring words.
Yes.
Okay. And the second thing is, what I love about our clubs is that nothing exists already. Everything that happens in those clubs has to be written by you guys, or the poetry is written, or the dances are created by you, or the dramas are created by you, your stand-up comedy is created by you. Do you know what I mean? And that's important because we are needing that.
It's important, and we are blessed to be writing these things from the most fertile soil on earth. Stories are abundant. That's the one thing we don't have to look for. Imagine you grew up in a household where your stories and your best friend's stories are the same because everything is the same all the time. It's the same. So we also have very fertile environments, and South Africans are funnier. We just are. Why are we funnier? Because we've been through a lot. And the way to survive that has always been through humor. You look at all of the things that South Africa's been through. We survived that through humor. And somebody once gave me a great compliment, which I carry with me. And they said, you know why I like working with you, Jason? I said, why? And they said, because you don't take yourself too seriously, but you take your work very seriously. Sam has seen what I do in corporate environments. That's generally my 9 to 5. And it's that ability to not take yourself too seriously. You can have fun with yourself. You can have people tease you and not take it personal. But I take my work incredibly seriously. I'm all in every single day. If you've booked me, you know that I'm going to show up. Not only am I going to show up, I'm going to respect your audience. Not only am I going to respect your audience, I'm going to make them laugh. I'm going to deliver your business messaging. I'm unforgivable with myself on those points. But during it, I can be a fool. I can be a clown. I can be all of the things that you need me to be to make you laugh. Don't take yourself too seriously, but take your work incredibly seriously.
So why are you looking like someone who just took a deep breath in?
I told you, Papa. I told you. I told you. You worried about me looking like I'm holding my breath. You know what I'm really worried about? Do you know that a fact about Jason Goliath? I've never been stung by a bee. In my life. Do you know how stressful that is? Because how will I know if I'm allergic? If I do get stung and I start swelling, how will I say to people, guys, I'm swelling up? Don't say, no, but can't you've been swollen your whole life? You understand what I'm saying? So I may look like I'm holding a breath. You may look like the remnants of a cigarette, but it's okay. We've had enough jokes about stompies in this country. Politically, we can't handle another stompy. We're very lucky.
Oh my gosh.
Very lucky. Politically, we can't handle more stompy jokes.
Good Lord. I feel like I've hurt my throat laughing. I just want to say that. So, one other thing.
Yes.
Just quickly about the Masked Singer.
Yes.
Yes.
What's your question?
Yes.
What's your question?
Okay.
So you can go ahead.
I have no idea how you survived in that thing.
I have no idea.
What?
Firstly, my suit, because they had to puff me up to look like an elephant, right? Because I didn't have enough puffing to be puff daddy.
Yeah, you had a good week during that week,
I
right?
did.
That's a good
But
one.
it was made out of that freezer jacket material. You know the retailers that work inside the freezer, they wear that blue suit. So my whole suit was made out of that. Then there was the helmet, which was so hot they had to install 2 fans in the helmet. So they had to install 2 fans. So now that sounds cool, but now all you're hearing is the whole time. So they give you an inner ear to try and get past the so that you can hear what's going on. Then my superpower is engaging a live audience, right? That's my superpower. But now I feel like I'm performing, but like via drone, because I've got like a small screen that I can see, and the audience is there, but I can't control them with my voice. I can't control them. I can only so it was ridiculous. It was a hostage situation. The first time I went in that suit, I thought I was gonna die. Yeah. Like we rehearsed the day of the show. And it was my first time in it. I made it through the end of the song. I'm supposed to stay there, wait for Pops to come, to guide me for interview. And I just went, I thought I was going to die. And then every time I went back in, I had that and I'm not a claustrophobic person. But I was hyperventilating just thinking about going back in. But what an experience. I would do it again just because of how few people will ever get to experience that. It was unbelievable.
You sing amazingly.
Thank you.
Why did I not know that?
It's because I'm not a singer. And I'll explain that. So I always say that I can sing in terms of I can hold a tune. I've sang in the school choir, I've sang in the church choir, But the difference between somebody who can sing and a singer is a singer can make you feel something. So when a singer sings, they can make you now to tears. They can fill you with joy and happiness. So I can hold a tune, but I don't think I'm a singer in that sense that when Jay Something sings, sometimes I don't want to be alone with him because you'll get kissed, Jay Something. You'll get kissed, my boy. It is what it is. You know very, very well. So can sing, not a singer.
Yeah. So are we going to see you anytime on Popcorn and Cheese?
On Popcorn and Cheese, yes, please. Yes, please. The guys have called to ask if I'm keen. We haven't been able to make dates available yet, but Pops is one of my favorite humans ever. Pops is and I can say this on record, I think Pops is the funniest man in South Africa right now, by far. Pops, the first time I saw Pops was on the 3rd of July, 2011, and he was headlining the first half, and I was doing my first ever set immediately after the break. So my first time I ever did comedy was the first time I met Pops, and even that day I was like, what comedy? He did one of the funniest gags. I can still remember. This is 12 years ago, and he did a joke with me. He just went, how do you know a colored won the lotto? And I was like, oh, here we go. And then he said, because you're going to find a Ferrari with the eagle mesh outside the club. And for me, if you know what that means, I cried with laughter. That is the funniest thing I'd ever heard. So Pops has not only been like a mentor to me, but a great friend to me in the industry, and we've had so many adventures together. Robot Boy is just one of the most talented, lovely human beings. So the two of them together just makes so much sense. And Pops has reached out, and I have promised him that, when the diaries allow, we're definitely gonna get into it. But yes, my favorites. Those boys are my favorites, and those boys are the future. Whether you want to admit it or not, those boys are the future.
And Titi?
Titi, my friend, is genius. Titi is, I'll tell you, like, Titi is one of those people that I worry about, because sometimes you meet a comedian who's so talented, you worry that the weight of his talent will erode his patience for the process. That's how talented Titi is. Titi, for me right now, on his day, one of the best comics on earth. But Titi's running his race. You know what I mean? He's running his race, and I said it, one of the best comics on earth. You're going to look in the future and you will remember Titi Chumia, who is
the barbaric.
Hey, breadwinner. Titi, unbelievable.
So I know I'm a very nervous person at times, especially coming to perform.
I would never have said from meeting you. You nervous? You've been dominating this interview. I'm teasing you, Shaylin. I'm teasing.
So I wanted to ask, how do you find your confidence, especially having to perform in front of people?
So that's a great question. I'm not a naturally extroverted person. I always say I'm an introvert that understands the code. You use charm, you use wit. I've always used my comedy and the ability to be funny to handle awkward situations. I say it often, and I'm not even allowed to say it, but I'm going to say it because I trust you guys. But I don't like people. My wife goes, you can't be a comedian and say you don't like people. And I go, no, I love people. When I'm on stage and they all sitting together there, I love them. And I'm the only one allowed to talk. I love people, but being during people gives me social anxiety. So when I'm among the people, and the best trick I learned is very similar to what I said to you about words and being responsible for motivating yourself. So choosing the words you use with yourself. You must love yourself. It took me years. And when I say years, I was probably deep in my 30s when I could properly go, I love me. And not love the version of me I think I'm going to be, not this future vicarious love of me. I love me where my feet are right now. Loving you is for me a natural steroid when it comes to confidence. Because it's not being arrogant, it's not lauding yourself, but it's simply backing yourself for what you're capable of and what you bring to the table and being very sure and assertive thereof. Then comedy and humor is a great social trick to make people feel comfortable. It makes you feel comfortable with people. But step one is accepting the things you don't like about you. And I'm speaking to you specifically because I feel that energy. Then I go, out of the three, your vibe, come on, you're killing the game already. We can't be worried about vibes. You gotta look. I had the thick top room. They used to call it the Malcolm X when I was at school. Those specs, I had exactly the same specs. I'll show you my ID photo to my wife. My wife will tell you. Then, and this I wish somebody told me when I was young, was they said, stop looking at the whole picture. focus on the things about yourself that you really love. So reprogram the way the world has programmed you to see you. Then I was like, okay, whatever. Then they were like, do this thing. So every single morning for 30 days, I woke up and I focused on something I loved while brushing my teeth. So before brushing my teeth, I look at myself in the morning and I would go, Anna Jason, your skin is amazing, boy. Whatever it is you got going, you find one thing. And for 30 days, I spoke about my skin. What is weird, 30 days later, when I look in the mirror, instead of seeing this fat kid that everybody would tease about being overweight and looking a certain way, I would see somebody with good skin. After skin, I started with hands. Ladies have always told me I've got beautiful hands. So then I'd be, Jason, your skin plus those hands. The combo, boy. The combo. I'd just be like, lock your wives up, boys. I'll put on Dove today. You know what I mean? You'll be out there. So and I'm very serious about this. You have to reprogram the way you see yourself. A lot of social anxiety is caused by the perception of the way you think people see you. And if you are 100% sure in your perception, you're less affected by what everybody else thinks, and that immediately makes you more comfortable. So for me, I have to love me among the jokes. I've got to love me looking like I'm holding my breath in the whole day, looking like I can't get a go-kart to move. I've got to love me and go, I love myself. Then people will go, but Eva, you're just making it up. You've got to indoctrinate yourself so you base it on facts first. Stuff that you actually believe you love about yourself. I'm now at a point where, with my overlapping stomach, with my debit order situation, I honestly believe I am beautiful. Why? Because why would I compete with all of I call them the vrpa boys, the Maps Maponyanes, vrpa. They're Jonathan Boynton Lee, vrpa. You see them wearing their tight ladies shirts for no reason. Then my brain goes, why would I lose weight and try and compete with the billions of thin six-pack wearers? Where in the land of fat people, God damn it, Jason Goliath is king. It sounds like a crazy thing, but you got to work your own brain to believe that. You got to work your own brain to believe that. So I'm looking at your hair, for example. Do you know how many people spend money to get this perfection? Money is spent. Then you go, God, you blessed me like this. Every day it's embarrassing, Lord. I see people looking at me. You know what I mean? And really, really, really get to the point where you're not reliant on other people for your compliments, your motivation, your self-love. So my opinion now becomes, if your opinion of me, the way I look, the way I dress, my stand-up comedy, if your opinion about me is not in the same WhatsApp group as my debit orders, then you and your opinion, you and your opinion. And that for me is such an important thing, because you'll find those circles and you feeling shy is because you're spending too much time thinking about what are they thinking about. Then you must drive and control that narrative. You must drive. And there is no such thing as only this shape, only that hair color, only those eyes, only that size, whatever is sexy. I'm just like, if you haven't seen my wife, then you don't even know how much sexiness I brought into my own life. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So how many bar soaps do you use to bath one day?
How many bars of soap? Listen. All I'm going to say to you is, you got to keep your head down and work hard. The days of using sunlight on your face are almost finished. Okay? The days of using green palm, boy, you must just believe in yourself. I know, you walk in, you've got that gentle aroma of poverty upon you. You know what I mean? But you must just push through. You must just push through. And I know at the end of the month, you still have to boil all the bars together to make another bar. You know what I mean? But one day, my boy, you're going to be on that two-ply life. And I can't wait for you. I can't wait for you to arrive on that two-ply life. Because once you move to actual moisturizer beyond Vaseline, you're going to be amazed.
I want to say, it has been amazing to spend the afternoon with you. And we could keep talking. And I want to say, actually, that this is going to be the first episode that's going to be split in half, because we need to have it all.
Come on!
So we'll have part 1.
Part 2.
And then part 2.
Because we
Flight it at another time. Don't you think?
I have to just... okay, so I feel like not everybody's got a fair opportunity, so I'm going to allow for... If it's part 2, and maybe this will just be for the cutaways, I'm going to allow everybody to ask me one question. Think about, and especially to my comedians here. This is your only opportunity to ask me a question.
Beautiful.
Do not let the jokes erode the importance. I have to say that on stage so often. I MC very important things, and I've got to say that the problem with jokes is they can make things feel like you're not taking them as seriously as you should and not giving them the gravitas that they deserve. So you have your question. Make it a good one. We'll edit the time that it takes for you to, because I at least saw you restarting your brain there. Nothing wrong. So think about it seriously. And my only rule is the same rule I have for my wife, is the same rule I have for my mother. And that rule is, do not ask me a question you don't want the answer to, because truth is what I'm all about. So do not ask questions you don't want the answers to. Who's going to start?
So I'm a big entertainer.
Yeah.
Right? But I feel like I should do it more to a higher or a lot of audience, a lot of people, where I can see that I can really do this.
Yes.
So I really want to do it. Like, I really want to make it using whatever I have. So which way, or how can you advise me?
Right, your sentence is more beautiful than you realize. I remember where I was. My greatest mentor in stand-up comedy was a guy called David Kibuka. David Kibuka, guys, was head boy at Krugersdorp High School. He's now still a producer on The Daily Show. Okay? He's done incredibly well. And years ago, I just bought this big fancy X5. We come out of a gig in Greenside. David used to drive an old Mazda where you had to jump in the passenger door. The key was broken. It was a pile of junk, guys. The worst car you've ever seen in your life. One of those that the car wash won't even wash it in case things fall off. One of those. And David, we're standing outside. It was like 12:30 at night. David is telling me about all of these things I've got to do to get my life together and get my career. And I at some point said to him, Dave, you're always giving me advice. I'm driving X5. You're driving a Mazda, Papa. What do you want in your life? And David said to me what you said. He said, all I want to do in my life is to do exactly what I'm doing now, but to bigger audiences in more beautiful venues and possibly around the world, which is exactly what he achieved. And that's the beauty of it. The hype, the fame element, the excitement element, it makes you hungry for the bigger audiences and the bigger platforms before your experience has aligned. My curse of starting late and having a lot of MC experience meant, because my career was growing so quickly, there was always a lag between audience's expectation and what my experience allowed me to deliver. And I always had the unfortunate part of, because they'd seen me on ads and I was doing ads before I started doing comedy, they assumed I was a lot better. Then I always had to up my game, which was great for my projection and the way my career moved. But if I had to do it over, I would have rather had that race be the other way around. Rather have people's expectations be lower than what I'm actually able to deliver, and therefore you're going to blow their minds every single time. So for now, forget about audiences. Worry only about your craft. Worry only about being the best at what you do. So if you say it's acting with a little bit of puns and some skits, if it's pure stand-up, become a master at what you do. I promise you, it's like that old saying of look after the cents and the rands will look after themselves. If you become a master at what you do, we exist in a time where everything else is going to follow. You're young, you've got time. First, get brilliant. First, be brilliant. Then worry about who's watching you. Because everybody's doing it the other way around, and it's going to give you such an advantage over your peers, I promise you. Great question.
How would you say your life has changed ever since you've been doing what you love, which is comedy?
I think what I've been able to find is my happiness exists, or my ability to exist in a consistent space of happiness. What comedy has given me is the ability to first, in the morning when I wake up, first be grateful for what I have. First be grateful for everything I've already overcome. First be grateful for what I've achieved. Then, instead of saying to myself, I have to, I've changed the word to I get to. And that's a very different way of communicating with myself. But what comedy has allowed me to do is, my gratitude comes from the fact that I sincerely believe I'm luckier than a South African lottery winner. And when I say that, I believe more people have won the lotto than get to do their favorite thing that actually pays them. Instead of having to do something they don't enjoy, like a normal 9-to-5 job, so they can hobby on the weekends, hobby after work, which is the general setup. 99.9% of people are going to go through their lives like that. The fact that I get to do my favorite thing and get paid makes me so, so, so grateful. So firstly, acceptance, accepting who I am, what I am, where I am, and then being grateful for everything I've achieved already before I kick into second gear of go out there and chase. And that's the greatest gift comedy gave me. Before, I was waking up worried about how much money I can possibly make. Where's this money going to come from? Now, money is a byproduct of my activity, not the objective. Money happens because I get to make comedy. I don't do comedy because it pays me money. I get paid money because I like doing comedy. And that's the way I like to think about it, which is, I think, the most blessed position any artist can choose to be in. Good question.
So, Jason, right? The world is changing.
All the time.
It's changing, we're evolving.
100%.
New technology is being
Starting
introduced.
Yes.
Okay? Okay, so there's AI, right?
Yes.
That thing can literally generate scripts, can generate jokes, anything
jokes.
at any time, right? Quickly.
Not jokes.
Oh, you have tried it.
I have.
Okay.
No, let me let you finish your question.
Okay, so my question is, right, with the way the world is changing, and like, do you think that future artists and future like comedians, their craft, will it still be as more authentic as it is now because of the new technology that's being introduced? Because I can simply go on ChatGPT and ask it to produce a joke for me, and I come and I.
So you're doing well in terms of where you're thinking, but in terms of AI, the reason I understand AI is because as part of one of the many things I do is I host a lot of conferences, and there are technology speakers at all of these conferences, so I get to listen to South Africa's foremost thinkers on where AI is and what AI is. AI is an inanimate object in the sense that, think about if there was a knife on the kitchen table, okay? The knife, firstly, can't cut anything on its own. Somebody's got to pick the knife up. Then when somebody's picked the knife up, the knife is neither good nor bad. Depending on what they do with the knife becomes good or bad. So if they're going to use the knife to cut bread, the knife is good. If they're going to use the knife to injure somebody, the knife is bad. AI is a very similar thing in the sense that, firstly, it needs your instruction. So if you really want to get into AI, you'll understand that the person who understands how to instruct the machine is the job of the future. The second thing is AI cannot write you a joke. It can research jokes and put something out that it thinks might be a joke, but AI can't walk into the room, have a look at everybody, and make everybody in the room laugh. You're still going to have to do that. So where I see it going is, and it's such a great question because something I've been plagued with is, are comedians globally still trying to recreate what Eddie Murphy did in the 80s? So we're still trying to recreate Raw and Delirious, the first kind of viral comedy sets. And have we spent the last 40 years of all of us just trying to recreate that? And if you're trying to recreate, you're never going to have the impact of the original. I think the winner of tomorrow, and we've actually started some writing rooms around this, is the person who can merge AI with their creativity so that it doesn't lose the authenticity. So imagine being able to, where AI can't write the scripts, humans can write the script, AI can do the animation. And instead of you spending hundreds of thousands of rands on an animator, AI can develop a character for you based on your description, but you've got to describe. So you can't just say, AI, write me a joke. It's probably going to cut and paste a joke from the internet. And even if you give it parameters, AI, I'm walking into a room, there's going to be students, there's going to be a essay legend, there's going to be camera people who nearly peed the way they were laughing, there's going to be, you know what I mean? AI can't walk into a room and create funny, but you can program AI to do that. So will there be a loss of kind of authenticity? I think there always is, just a little bit. But where that loss in authenticity exists, there'll also be opportunity to do things that we can't even imagine yet. So imagine being able to, while you do a set, you put your set into AI with a couple of instructions, it animates you in the set. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't think our creativity is at risk. But I think if we use AI, we have an opportunity to create stuff that before we were either unable to do because we didn't have the right equipment or manpower or money or capacity. But now we can explore new areas. So I think working with AI and embracing that type of technology is going to be producing the entertainment of tomorrow. Definitely.
Brilliant.
Good questions, guys.
Okay, so it's been amazing. You have the biggest heart. Love you madly. Thank you. Have you ever thought about being a motivational speaker?
Good question.
You should be.
So I'll say it. I haven't said it publicly yet, but it's been a big thing on my mind. Is I found that in the beginning, like I said, I was talking just about diarrhea and sex was my jokes. That's all it was about. And then you get to a point, and it wasn't the 10-year mark, it was a 12-year mark for me. That was a bigger anniversary. And I realized that if you have people listening, then make sure you're going to say something, especially in this day and age where everybody's gone through something, going through something. So first 12 years of my career, I think I spent making sure that I'm funny. The next 12, I plan to make funny the second priority, and messaging and motivation the first, and it's got a name. So everything has to have a name so that it exists within my realm and within my world, and I can visualize clearly about it. And the name is cheesy as hell, but the name is, how do I take my audience on a journey of motivating Jason, and therefore that journey will be called Moti Jason, which I think is great. So that is motivational, and I call it motivational comedy, but motivational comedy is just about the only thing you're going to get to see me do for the next 10 years. That's what I'm feeling at the moment. That's my little niche. That's my little piece that I don't think too many people are playing in. But I can't wait to make people laugh and make them feel at the same time, and have you leave with more than just a giggle. So it may not be for everybody. Like, I think all of the things I've said today, it's not for everybody, but hopefully one of the people listening needed to hear one of the things I said, and that for me is a big one. And
you're generous with your knowledge and with your energy and with your time, and you always have been. And I think you're great with youth as well. So it's been an absolute honor. So thank you so much.
The honor is mine. Thank you guys. Extra special thanks to Rustenburg. Extra special thanks. Came from Rustenburg. You have to sell your afro to make it to Joburg. That's commitment, guys. That is commitment.
You see now.
Now you know where your next beef comes from? It is what it is. I don't make the rules, but just know, a Rustenburg sacrifice was made. Rustenburg. Imagine jumping in a taxi and you don't even have to worry about your perm on his window. Imagine.
So thank you. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. And thank you, and for the work that you are doing, and to all of you, thank you for being excited about the arts, man. We need all of you. We need your creativity. I cannot wait. I feel like you all in your own right are going to shine, and I cannot wait to bask in the light of your glory. So good luck and all of the best, and dala what you must all day, every day.
Dala what you must. Over and out, everyone.